Hey everybody, it's Wank IV again. Today I'm going to do one of my good old letters to an asexual. I believe this is number 21, and I'm going to feature an older one from some time ago last year when I was in a pretty big article. I had been interviewed for an article that first it got put in the Daily Mail, which was, it was kind of a bunch of the content was stolen or harvested from other articles I had done. And so the Daily Mail did this sort of sensationalistic article about me, and instead of actually even asking me for a photo, they grabbed a picture that was 9 years old of me in my bathing suit off of my Facebook. And I guess that was just for clicks. That, there's a girl in a bathing suit there, so people would click on it. And so let's see, so that got recycled everywhere because Daily Mail, I guess, just does that. And one of the places that it showed up in was a site in Nigeria. And I don't know why this happened as soon as it got shared in Nigeria, but all of a sudden my Facebook messages on my author account started filling up with Nigerian men who were all telling me that I should get married to them, and they would say something really condescending about how women's existence on the planet was to serve men, and then they would say, I am offering to marry you, I think that you're a good wife for me, or something. So I didn't know when I got the first one that this was going to be some kind of trend, but the first one that I received from a man who called himself Victor was actually also the worst one that I received. And I guess I just didn't realize that it was going to be the beginning of an avalanche, so I went ahead and replied to it because it was, it was funny, and I kind of enjoy yelling at jerks. But anyway, you guys probably know that by now. So I'm going to read you this fellow Victor's message, and keep in mind he's from Nigeria, so is the way that he writes his English is kind of clearly not standard. So this is what he sent me, and it was to my Facebook. He says, I think you need have a man who really knows what to do in the bedroom. I am currently single and would like to marry you, the reason being that I will not need to worry about fending off other men, which is the greatest challenge to every union, especially nowadays. The second reason is that you'd be easy to love, because I will gain access to your heart in a little while. If the heart is not conquered, it is difficult for many to begin to feel anything sexual. I will make you leave that asexual club by your own volition, because I know what it is I do. I'm also 35 years old and very ready to settle down. Would you like to be normal like everyone else? Or do you simply enjoy being asexual because it brings you some publicity? Even though I've never really been a womanizer, no woman has ever seen me and didn't feel something. And that's from experience. I'm 6'2" and very handsome. Hit me up if you think it'll be worth a try, because I mean every word I have written here. So my response to him was, okay, nothing about you or your attitude toward what I need is appealing in any way. It's actually kind of funny how many people think I'd suddenly start being attracted to someone if only they and their magical genitalia would change my life. Nothing you've said is new or unusual or uncommon. It's kind of disappointing and sad, but lots of people tell themselves I'm incomplete without them, and really need to believe in the power of their beautiful, amazing ability to sex people into thinking differently. But please, let's not kid ourselves. You're messaging strange women on Facebook and propositioning them, and yet you expect me to believe you could possibly have something I'd desire. Seriously, you really need a reality check. This is completely inappropriate behavior, but it's also kind of sadly common. If you'd like to join your brethren, there's a line forming out back of all the people who think it'd be life-changing for me to convince me of my obligation to try them in bed. You'll have to learn someday that some people just aren't attracted to you, and there's not a thing you can do about it. I feel about men the way straight guys generally feel about other guys. Your begging sounds to me exactly as laughable and ridiculous as a gay guy would probably sound to you if he Facebook messaged you and told you he knows he could make you love his genitalia. Get over yourself and please leave me alone. So, then he responded to me, and watch what he does here. I'm truly sorry I didn't come across as someone decent in your eyes because of the things I wrote. Please forgive me. If you understood my message very well, it said I'd like to marry you. I know you're a total stranger, but you have what I need, and that's the ability to live without feeling sexually attracted to other men or even women. You see, I read an article about you today and felt something in my heart, not where you are likely to think. For you. If I wanted to get laid with a virgin or something, I wouldn't be trying to propose, don't you think? I'm not really the kind of guy to brag about my prowess in bed or anything, but since the write-up didn't exactly say you were a virgin, my guess is maybe you had a first experience that didn't quite stick. That is only an assumption, which could be very wrong, but in my opinion, it's much safer than assuming you are a virgin, judging from certain info I was able to garner. From some little investigation I carried out myself. Listen, everyone who knows me knows I'm a great guy, and that is putting it mildly. We may have hit it off on the wrong footing, but you'll find that your encounter with me today will surely change your life. I'm a guy worth knowing, who happens to be not like any other man you have ever met. And I'm not lying to you, but I will let you discover it yourself. I will leave you with a statement and hope that you will reach out to me when it happens, because it will. You will begin dating soon. I hope you will remember me when the time comes. By the way, you have a great body. So, wow. It's like he thinks that I didn't understand that he wasn't just offering me his penis, he was offering to marry me. Don't I understand the difference? I mean, that's obviously so much more upstanding. I'm totally misinterpreting him. Yay! Anyway, so, what happened after that was, eventually I let that kind of fester for a while, and then I responded to him and I said, yes, your assumptions about my supposed bad experiences are wrong. And your investigation apparently led you astray because I have never slept with anyone. No, I am not flattered by you saying you were moved by your heart to propose marriage to a stranger who needs to be saved from sad, sad asexuality by you. No, I am not at all swayed by your belief that everyone you know thinks you're awesome. I am not collecting recommendation letters, and your message to me was unwelcome and unsolicited. No, you do not sound wise when you tell me I will begin dating soon, and will remember you when it happens. The first time someone said that to me was about 11 years ago. It included the phrase, mark my words, in a couple of years you will be married with kids. Similar people have also informed me that they know I will soon find Jesus. You don't know anything accurate about me, which is unsurprising because you don't appear to know a great many things, including how to speak respectfully to another person. So he took about a week to respond, I'm really surprised, and then I found this in my inbox. You have been rude, Sandra, but I will pay your vicious utterances no mind. After all, self-preservation is the #1 instinct. You may have heard all these things from people in the past, which didn't eventually play out, but I assure you this time it's different. I am the chosen one. What I say does eventually come to pass. You will begin to date soon, and that is final. And you do not have to believe it. You may also want to apologize to me for poor handling in due time, because you'll eventually realize I did mean no harm. Also, I will be your friend from then on if you finally decide to accept me. I'm sorry if I came on very strong, but that's how it is with me sometimes, especially with something or someone I believe in. Okay. So, I'll have one order of nope with a side order of nope, please. This is my response, and it's a little bit long. I know you're so surprised, but here's my response. You're the chosen one. Wow. Enjoying your unwarranted self-importance there? My name is not Sandra. You can't even get my name right, not even when it's printed in the email. So you just can't help the way you approached me because that's just the way you are. Well, maybe one day you'll change and start interacting with people in an entirely different way. Something will happen and you'll realize I was right. Sound unlikely? Maybe now you have some perspective on why I think it's laughable when people who don't know me, like you, wander into my life and inform me that I will change important things about myself to fit what they wish I were. Guess who else acts the way they do, because that's just the way they are? Me. No, Victor, you have not taught me anything. And no, this time is not different. Everything you have said to me about what my future holds in your own wishful thinking, your desperate desire to have something you can't have. And you're going to have to face that someday. No one is connected to this wishful thinking but you. I will not be apologizing to you. And realizing, oh my, he must have been right all along, and that I will start dating and understand finally that actually he was the only one, the special one. The sole man out of the dozens claiming to be different that actually was different. Ha ha. No, Victor, you're the same as all of them. Pathetically self-centered, unwilling to accept other people's autonomy, and really quite disappointingly out of touch with reality. You're a man who claims he has an unprecedented, transformative effect on women, but you're paradoxically failing at relationships and proposing marriage to women you don't know on Facebook, as if it's a favor to them. Get real. Even if I did fall in love with someone one day, it certainly would not be with a person who believes only he, not I, has true knowledge of myself and my future. I don't enjoy interacting with people who claim to have knowledge of what I will think, claim they know what I do think, or treat women like they're incomplete without men. If you continue to believe that women are vicious when they reject you for telling them what they can, will, and do feel, you will never have anything but abusive relationships, not based on love, but on non-consensual possession and domination and control. Certainly not the future I have in mind, Victor. And despite your belief that it is fated and I have no say in the matter, yes, I do have a choice. Sorry that makes you so mad, though. It's kind of sad when men are so threatened by women who cannot be forced to want their companionship, especially when they're willing to assign said women disorders and personality flaws to avoid looking at their own terrible behavior. I don't actually think you will change. I think you're way too far down that hole to ever see women as real people and yourself as just another man who needs to get past some very seriously inaccurate, grandiose beliefs about his talents and abilities. You'll have to accept, as time goes on, that I will not be doing any of the things you pathetically keep telling yourself I will do. I don't know why you need so badly to believe that I will come crawling to you, or that I will be dating soon, or that you have some amazing effect on women, that they become changed by your interaction with them, but it's really quite a severely unattractive and silly part of you. And since I've seen no other part of you besides the incredibly disgusting condescension of yours, you are one of the most unattractive people I've ever heard of. I know you'll comfort yourself with denial and tell yourself you're special, though. That's how people like you are, thinking they're so unique, but they all think the same way. Maybe one day you'll realize that having a temper tantrum and yelling, "I am right and that is final," doesn't actually make things happen. It's pretty hilarious, though. You're a joke. You always have been, and at this rate, you always will be. So, that was actually the end of the first conversation that we had, but he ended up coming back again after that, I think that he ended up blocking me on Facebook, and then he followed up and sent me another message. And he goes, "Dearest Sandra, sorry I spelled your name wrong. I think spell check did that. And I believe you'll now better understand." Yeah, that's still not the right name. But it's spell check's fault. I got it. So he goes on and says, "I read your analysis of the current situation and couldn't believe you could reach out with a rather nonchalant and inconsiderate conclusion about an individual you have never even met. It's obvious that you like to consider yourself a unique and highly evolved human being who does not care what the rest of the world think. It is very unlikely you are overdoing it even a little bit." Okay, so yeah, the irony does not escape me that, he's the man who's telling me he is different from everyone else, but he's trying to tell me that I'm not special. Okay, So he says, being different from most people on Earth cannot be all that much fun, and it surely cannot generate satisfaction, especially personal fulfillment, for very obvious reasons, to some of us at least. Warding off every concerned individual, intruders to you, may very often grant you some feeling of importance and much relevance, which is so okay with me, but it usually ends shortly after you begin to think about your entire life, because you know you have a problem, and will very often cry yourself to sleep, on countless number of days and especially nights, even though you never tell people about that part of yourself, about your seemingly joyful and independent existence. That's my favorite part. So, then he continues, I am one of the few people in the galaxy who can totally reverse what you're going through, and by that I mean every word. The best part is you do not even have to pay a dime to anyone or attend even one lecture. That is what I offer you. Wow, what a guy. I don't even have to pay for his ridiculous marriage proposal and teaching me about how I'm wrong about myself. That's awesome that he doesn't charge for that. He continues, about my being good at handling women, etc. I'm not actually all that good. I was just thinking a little differently from you at the time, which I believe should not be a huge crime. Anyway, I didn't know that you still held those offenses against me, but it's okay, 'cause your current stance is quite rigid due to what I perceive as your response to yet another attack. I understand that you do need to store some weapons to use to drive away such intruders, such as my humble self, especially since you see the situation the way you do. About wanting you so much, that's not how I would put it. I do want you, but because things have turned out the way they have, I'll keep that all to myself till I think you're ready, if ever. Remember that I said earlier that why I want you is not just to have access to your body, but there is at least one other very important reason to me that makes you so much more attractive than other women. I don't know why he seems to think that I don't get that he wants me because he thinks I'm not going to cheat on him. Like, I get it. You think that you're going to make me change into a person who's attracted to you, and somehow that's not going to switch on for anyone else, and that makes me perfect. I mean, like, I got it. You're not that complicated, dude. Okay, so he continues and says, I'm aware that you need to show the outside world some strength and make your current situation work out and even appear admirable so as to encourage others of your kind that life can be beautiful, especially since there are no other options on the table. I am not unaware that deep down inside, you may even admit it once in a long while, you would like to be like every other woman out there. It's amazing how he can see right into my soul, isn't it, guys? So, gosh, I can't decide if that's my favorite part or the part where he told me that I cry myself to sleep. Okay, he continues. I do not think too highly of myself, and I will also admit to being subject to the usual human weaknesses. By this I mean that my behavior towards people, and also strangers, is likely to not always going to be impeccable. You have character, and I like that. But those words I have spoken to you about how you will soon begin to date are not mere words. They are spirit, and they are life. So, all right. I did not answer that because it was just kind of pointless, and I was tired of it. But then he decided to follow up with me. And he goes, hey, Julie, how you doing? You didn't write. That's not fair. I fear that pissed you off as usual. I really miss you. Okay, so he changed names again. And now he says it's not fair that I didn't talk to him. Okay, so I actually wrote back to him and said, leave me alone. I'm sorry you're so desperate, but I already told you you're repugnant. Don't write to me. I am not being unclear. So, I wonder if he cried himself to sleep. And believe it or not, there is more. So, after I told him to go screw himself, He comes back with, I know you don't like me anymore, Julie, LOL, and that it's not because I don't have a good nature. I perceive that my earlier approach has not been anything but unwelcome, but I give you my word that from now on, this moment, I'll be a different person. Please take me back. I didn't take you in the first place. So, I responded to it, and I said, I did not like you in any way in the first place, and I cannot take you back because I never took you in the first place. Do not write to me. You keep writing to me, even though I told you over and over again that I do not want you to write to me. You're not very good. You're very good at repeatedly ignoring everything I say. You have never said a single thing to me that suggested you're a good person. You have never said a single thing that didn't either make me laugh or make me feel disgusted. You are not worth anything to me, and there is nothing you can do about it. Stop harassing me. Your word means nothing, especially since I said, don't write to me, I am not being unclear. And you wrote to me anyway. You keep proving through the act of writing to me that you don't care at all about what I want. You blew it. Deal with it. Cry about it at night if you have to, but get over it and stop obsessing over a girl who doesn't like you, never liked you, and thinks you're disgusting. You can beg all you want, but it would be better for both of us if you just stop embarrassing yourself. You've already got it in your head that I'm going to crawl to you and beg for your attention after I fulfill some laughable prediction you made about my inevitable upcoming dating extravaganza. You already think you've got it all figured out, so why don't you just go fixate on your very silly fantasy and wait for my supposed destiny to come for me, and in the meantime, leave me alone. I will not answer your messages again. Please disappear. And of course, yes, he wrote back to that. And his email subject line was, please do not reply. He says this to me. And he says, I will wait for my laughable prediction to come to pass because it soon will. Don't write me after if you don't feel like it. Bye for now. Thankfully, that actually was the end of it. I have not heard from him since. But I don't seem to have started dating, and this was more than a year ago now, so I don't know what his definition of soon is, but, you know, I don't really even know what to say to people like this. It's like, it's kind of an exaggeration of the same crap that makes people just, they're so dug in, they're so convinced that like eventually this supposed ruse is going to fall, but like this guy, he included himself in it and said like, oh, I'm gonna come and marry you, and I'm gonna take you away from all these attention getting tactics that you're so fixated on. And it's just like, wow, I don't usually run into too many people that are that entitled and that, like, I guess fixated on something that's not even reality. So, you know, I guess I've talked long enough about this, so I'll just end it here, and you guys can tune in next time I have something rambly to say to a jerk on the internet. Thanks.